Alrighty, we are live. Hello, outside world. Uh, Welcome to the first of hopefully many Lemegeton one shots that I want to run with the Have crew. Tonight, we have four. Uh, would lucky be the right term? Adventurers, lucky, unlucky adventurers, who will be entering Lemegeton actually for the first time. You were the first four players in Lemegeton. Um, how to quickly describe Lemegeton for people interested? Probably, hmm, how best to do it? Victorian, dark, gunpowder, roses, and maybe a little secret divine holy war from 600 years ago. Stuff like that. But more importantly, uh, allow our four adventurers to introduce themselves, starting with Alexander.
I am playing Olm the Redeemed. He was once a paladin that then uh, fell, and then he got redeemed through Anake, which is a celestial who was evil and became good. And now that he is good again, he worships her directly and is a warlock through her. And he just goes around trying to redeem people and also destroy evil.
Next, we would have Bradley.
I am playing Oliver Quint, a previous guard captain who had, through hubris and a pursuit of power, led to the death of many of the underlings underneath him. Since then, he's been a much more reserved, tactical person and tends to not take the lead much anymore.
Alrighty. Next, we have Chad.
Hi guys. My name is Chad. I'm going to be playing a Asimir bard tonight, named Weston Varnholm, Jackson Varnholm. Sorry. He is definitely one of kind of upstanding noble birth, but he really, really downplays it. He, knowing that he is from this sort of divine bloodline and lineage, he kind of like tries to hide the fact that he is by blending himself into the crowd and sort of doing good for the common folk rather than just for the nobility or the what is good for the masses versus what is good for the few sort of situation. I really, really like this character, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
All right, thank you, Chad. And last but not least, Nicholas.
All right. I'm playing a tiefling cleric called Rare. He's pretty much a dude who the only thing he's known his own life is solitude, pretty much, working with the rites for the dead. And he follows the domain of the grave. He works a lot with the deaf and the life. And he does his best to help people when he can. But he knows that most people just kind of hate him for what he is. That's pretty much all he is for now. Pretty dope. Very stoked to play this. And I think my character is quite shit, but he's gonna be fun to play.
Nah, I'm sure we'll be fine. They're not gonna be fine. Anyway, so as supposed to be begin the game now. Give me just one moment. Gotta clear my throat. Much better. All right. Oh God. I will begin this by saying it's been over a year since I've ran a game, so intros I haven't exactly had much practice with. All right. In the beginning of Lemegeton's long ago conflict between the infernal plane and the astral plane, one town became the center point for the major conflicts. This town originally did not have the best name. Originally, when it was simply humans and halflings and gnomes and dwarves, this was known as the Beggar's Arsehole. Now, 600 years on, it has had an influx of noblemen and wealthy individuals who have updated and changed the name into the Beggar's Grotto. The reason why it's called the Beggar's Grotto or the Beggar's Arsehole is because the town is built on a naturally forming ditch that has bridges crossing over it. It acts as a sewer through this grotto, but besides a sewer, it is also where the poor individuals live in the town, and thus its name. However, the four of you find yourselves in an inn known as the Scarlet Weave, which is up on the top above the grotto, through which the nobles kind of revamped things and made things better for more wealthy clientele. And the Crimson Weave is also, through its money and its stature, has earned a nice profit from it, enough that it can become a sponsor for the Hammers of the Alzeer. Or Hammers of Alzeer, sorry. So, almost stereotypically, you find the four of you find yourselves in this tavern. It is a exquisitely decorated place. The coat of arms of the hammers, which are two hammers crossed over an orange shield, are stuck on the walls in numerous shapes and sizes, almost like decorations, almost like epitaphs, as some have the names of deceased adventurers that have been written on them. Some have donations from benefactors emblazed on them. And the other thing that makes the Crimson Weave unique for this part of the world is that the barkeep is actually a devil. Most devils and demons and celestials find themselves in much higher positions of authority, but this devil, known only as Gluttony, rules and runs the Crimson Weave for whatever reason. And the four of you find yourself sitting in the middle table, reserved for the hammers. as Gluttony approaches your table. All right, boys. What have ye be having?
Just a spot of wine for me. I need to keep my head clear.
A spot of wine, you say? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Cheap beer. Cheapest you got.
Cheap beer. That'll be a gold piece.
Olm slides a piece of gold across the table towards him.
He takes it in his fingers and flips it, and it kind of poof disappears in a little pink cloud of smoke. And then he's like, "Thank you." Anything for the others?
Wine all around it is then.
I would
Actually,
look at him and tell him I would like the strongest of your drinks, something to dull the pain. But I wouldn't really look at him. I would just like look somewhere near him. I believe I wouldn't dare look at him in his eyes because I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of what I am, and I think he knows that. I'm afraid of the reaction he'll get seeing this.
I think Jackson is sitting there with the rest of you, and he says something really weird for it being a bar. I'll have water, thanks.
Water. Fine. He doesn't. His visage, his appearance, kind of when he sees you, kind of like gives a snarl when he speaks, as if you smell. If you smell, but it's almost like if you were to smell something really disgusting, but there's no smell. That's like,
This is a fine establishment. There's no need for us to be so cheap. Do you all want dinner while we're here?
I could eat.
I think Jackson would say the same thing. He'd be like, we have been traveling for some time. I could use some food. Sure.
Sure. Yes.
food, fine. And the gluttony will turn and quickly gallop with his hoof feet back to behind the bar where the door that leads to the kitchen is. There is a loud racket behind the door. The sounds of what looked like animals being decimated. Loud screeching and hollering. And then silence. And Gluttony pulls a long metal tray out on wheels through the door, upon which there appears to be a roast pig with an apple in its mouth, and 2 turkeys that appear to be They should have been cooked longer than they appear to have been, but he still wheels them up to you with their golden crisp skin and an ornately designed porcelain gravy boat shaped in the face of a devil, of course.
Well, if the boar's all right, I'll have some of that.
Gluttony claps his hands, and the knife lifts from the table and begins to cut the boar for you on its own. Can I get you anything else?
Are we disturbing you? Is there something you'd rather be doing than working in this hovel? As he I imagine that Jackson's probably sitting there just lightly strumming on his mandolin as he's talking to you.
Jackson, your heritage is showing.
I'm sorry. It's difficult when you're being stared at repeatedly. I'd like to be able to eat my meal in peace without feeling subjected.
It is who you are. There is no running from that.
He raises a glass. He raises his glass of what I assume isn't perfectly clear water to you, and he's like, "That is one thing we can agree on. I am sure of it." And he takes a sip of it, and he downs the water, and looks to Gluttony, and says, "I think we're all good here."
Gluttony kind of looks like he's swishing spit in his mouth, but he doesn't spit it out. And just grimaces and just takes large steps away from the table as fast as he can. It is
suppose we eat then.
about 5 to 7 minutes into your meal. One moment. Sorry, I've had sinus problems, and I clogged up, so to speak. Couldn't breathe. About 5 to 7 minutes into your meal, through the door of the Crimson Weave, an heavily armored individual enters. He is covered in full plate. His armor it looks like it's been painted orange entirely, but there have been chips of paint that have gotten off from weapon strikes and stuff like that. And he, on the front of him, has at first, from a straight on, it looks like it's in a very specialized decal of, or a painted on design of the two hammers crossing of the hammers themselves. But as he kind of turns, you realize that it is actually two small hammers that have been embedded into his armor in the shape. Make a history check for me.
17.
22.
Okay. So, I say and I know we have a character in the party called so there's going to be a lot of confusion. um, so got 17, was that? Alexander was 17, was it?
Yeah, 17.
Right. So, getting my names figured out here. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, apologies to people watching this and in the future, guys, because I am horrible with names and putting faces to names, and that's my thing. So,
I'm here to help, brother. You're good.
all right, Alm got 17 and Quint got 22. Perfect. So Alm and Quint, you instantly recognize that this orange armored individual is a member of what are termed as the 7 gold hammers of Alzeer, which were the first 7 hammers ever to have been formed. And when one dies, their offspring inherit the armor. So it's a situation where this is clearly the offspring, the child or descendant of one of the original 7 hammers.
Is it proper to salute? Because if so, that's exactly what I'm doing.
The proper salute for hammers is actually to stomp your feet onto the floor as loudly as you can.
And I hold my wine up to him and invite him, sort of wave him over to our table.
He notices you're waving and your salute, but for some reason, while it would be customary for him to approach and stomp his foot in response, he does not do so.
Can I, what is the equivalent of sense motive?
Insight.
Could I do one of those?
Sure.
That'll be a whopping 15.
15. Alrighty. As you're kind of watching him, waiting for him to salute you back and approach, you notice that his body movements are a little more erratic than you would expect them to be. Almost inhumanly erratic.
I'm going to lower my wine glass down and sort of step away from the table. Yeah, I'm standing at this point. I don't know what's happening, but I'm uncomfortable right now.
So yeah, I would look at you and sort of, I imagine that maybe we have a signal or something, because you look distressed, and I'm giving my back on this dude so I don't see him. And I see you standing up, and I'm kind of looking at you, trying to understand why you're acting like this. So would I understand that something is wrong, or what do you think?
You can definitely tell that I'm on guard. I don't know much more about that, though. I'm not sure what's going on. I just don't want to be sitting down when it happens.
I'll at least go look over where you're upset about. Not gonna do anything though.
That hammer, he's... Have you all seen him before? He seems strange. Look, the way he moves, it's inhuman.
Maybe he's just having a bad day.
Even on my worst days, my hip has not moved like that.
Well, you want to go talk to him?
Jazeer, you're more personable than I am. Go see if he's okay, please. Please. Excuse me, Jackson.
Ah, yes, well. What was that? He looks over to the man. Definitely like the way he's staggering. And he says, okay, yes. I'll see to the man. See if he needs any help. And he flings his loot over his back. And he begins to approach the man. At this point, you see that like he takes his hood and definitely puts it over his head, kind of trying to hide his visage from the people here in Gluttony's bar. If Gluttony is the bar keep, like he imagines that this place is like the cantina slums, and he's just this like celestial glowing thing in the midst of all this. And so he with his white hair and his like bright eyes, he like starts walking over to this man. Excuse me, sir. I don't mean to bother you, but are you all right?
And as this figure turns towards you, not fully, just his head turns to look at you, and beneath his helmet, you can still see his eyes, but they are red, not bloodshot red, but red, glowing, and with twirls of red, kind of magic, kind of like peeling almost off of his eyes.
As soon as I see this, I immediately take a step back. I feel like I know what this is, but at the same time, like I'm very tentative of immediately addressing it. I don't want to jump in without examining everything, because the last thing I want to do is like kill a man who could potentially be helped rather than just ending it and being zealotous. So I take a step back and I basically examine him and say, sir, if you can hear me, I want to help you.
Seeing his reaction, I'm going to walk over there.
As Alm gets closer, Jackson, you can also hear, but you're right next to him, you can hear a voice beginning to curl out from beneath the helmet. And as he speaks, the door to the kitchen will open, as it says, "Gluttony. Gluttony."
Is this some kind of language that we could understand, or is he just making nonsense?
It is common.
He's saying Gluttony, the name of the guy who owns this.
Is Gluttony back in the kitchen?
Gluttony is back in the kitchen, and As he was saying this, the kitchen door is beginning to open.
I'm going to head to the kitchen door and call out, "You have a visitor up front."
On my way, fine. Gluttony yells from the back.
As Gluttony approaches me, I'm going to try to whisper in his ear, "You should probably clear the bar."
Fine, I will clear the bar. As he gets halfway through his last word, red light begins to erupt from the visor of the helmet, and I need you guys to roll initiative. What's your AC and your HP?
My AC is 18, my HP is 126.
18 and 126. Okay, Brent, what is your AC and HP?
It's 19 and 121.
Oh yeah, you put it right in there already.
Yep.
19. And then one second, I'm just getting your initiatives put in. I have an initiative program that's what I'm doing, by the way, to see. And I got 7. Okay. Okay, so you're up first.
Well, doesn't really know what's going on just yet, so he is just gonna cast Bless on everybody, actually, everyone in the party, and draw his guns.
Alrighty. And what does your blessed spell look like?
It is just he has a holy symbol on the chest of his armor, and it glows slightly orange. And then the same symbol for a second glows on the chest of everyone who is blessed before it fades.
Alrighty. Quint.
Could I roll some sort of knowledge roll to try to figure out what's going on with this hammer?
Sure.
What kind of roll would that be?
Arcana.
All right, cool. So that's a 29.
29.
Yeah, nat 20.
Okay. You know that this is a advanced. This is probably an advanced form of what some might call revenancy.
So he is some sort of undead come to take revenge on Gluttony?
In a way, it's the way to describe it may be better as it's a combination of a helmed horror and a revenant.
What is that?
Helmed horrors are constructs that are basically armor given sentience.
Interesting. So would I know if the human inside there is he savable? Or is he a husk?
He's probably not savable.
All right. In that case, did that take any of my actions to be able to know that?
I'll say no.
Okay. In that case, I am going to Misty Step my way in between the Revenant and Gluttony. And that was my bonus action. So I'm going to then make 3 attacks on the Revenant. And as I kind of Misty Step there, it's just sort of that flash dash that happens when someone moves very quickly. That is a nat 20 for a 29 on my first attack. Are there crit confirms in
Nope.
5e? So that's just a crit. So 12. So that's 24 damage on my first attack. Does a 15 hit with the second attack?
Nope.
Alright, so my second 2 hit attacks both miss.
Alright.
And that'll be my turn.
What's the damage for your crit?
24.
24. Alright.
These dice are rolling hot and then stopped.
Alright. You're able to give this thing a valiant. What is it? What weapon are you using again? Your
Using a rapier. I have not got the ability to get flame tongue on it yet, so that'll happen next turn.
So you're able to give a deft stab right into this thing. And when you do, when you pull your blade out, your rapier is covered in its blood, but it glows like a brilliant red. Almost meta-wise, almost a neon red.
Does this guy have a shield?
No, he does not have a shield, actually. Next is checking my dandy initiative. Jackson.
Cool. So Jackson sees all this stuff happening, and there is just something that does not sit well with this creature, this thing, even being able to be alive. But he almost doesn't want to kill it. He wants to save it, or have that sort of. But he knows he can't. He knows he can't do that. So he takes a step back, and you see that he sort of begins to whisper under his breath. He holds out a hand, and in a blink, it's like these celestial, angelic thorns begin to form themselves into a circlet around the helm of this man, this creature. And all Jackson can do is look at this man and say, "I'm sorry for your loss, but I cannot allow you to continue to be such an abomination." And he pulls his hand inward, and at that point, I am casting Crown of Madness upon this creature. Let me see what I need to do for that. 1 second.
It needs to make a wisdom saving throw or become charmed.
Thank you. And then the wisdom saving throw would be my spell save DC, which would be DC 18.
You're muted. When, as this crown kind of forms around his head, you pull, it envelops him, and for a moment, you feel as if it worked. But then he pushes with his arms, and he just breaks the crown from around his head.
Okay, shoot. Let me see. At level 13, we should have more than one attack. So I think.
Yeah, but you cast a spell, so
that's yeah, all you do. That's all I'd be able to do. Yeah. So.
All right. Next is its go. So if you just hold on one moment, as I have to get its stuff out.
Come at me, you fiend.
Did you say that in game?
Yes. I'm definitely trying to gather its aggro if it's even smart enough for that to happen.
Sure. It will make. Actually, I'll describe what it does. It will turn on its heel and lash out at you 3 times with these gauntleted fists. So its first attack is first to hit you. Obviously, a let's see, doing math in my head. 11 won't hit you.
Nope.
Nor will a 9. But a natural crit probably will.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so that is going to be 21 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
And additionally, you can see that some of the glowing ichor that came out of its body and was starting to pool on the floor, about half of it seeps back into its body again.
Fast healing?
You could say that. And it will actually use its movement to leap over the bar itself. So there's a 5 foot, 4 foot tall, 5 foot wide bar separating him from the rest of you. But if anyone within his space, within 5 feet of him, you'll be able to make opportunity attacks.
I'll do that. That's a big fat miss. 13.
Nope, that doesn't hit, I'm afraid. Next up is Rare.
Yeah, seeing I was was still sitting, and then he saw this creature started to fight with his comrades, so he slowly stands up, he sighs very heavily, grabs his shield, turns around, says, there is no rest in this world. And he will just slowly put his hand in the direction of these dudes, and if I need to walk, I'll walk, but I need to be in 30 feet distance of him. So I'll just get close enough so I can cast blindness on him. And I'll say, at least let me help you not to see this world. You do not belong here, creature. He has to make a Constitution saving throw or be blind. And the save is 17 to beat.
As a powerful creature of the undead, he naturally rolled a 6 on that. So that would mean he is blinded.
So yeah, that's all I can do. Visually, I don't think there's anything that happens, just the hand extended, and suddenly he loses his sight.
So that would mean that the brilliant light that was shining from his eyes quickly disappears as he lets out a in anger, which takes us back to the top of initiative. You're up again. Like my shoes. Welcome back. I thought the demons had gotten you.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. Internet dropped for a second. I'm assuming it's my round?
Yep.
Alright, well, if it's blinded, then I'm going to shoot it twice with my guns, using sharpshooter. That is 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
4 and 5. 19 damage. And with my other shot, 21 to hit.
Mhm.
For 17 damage.
So in total, that would be
9, 7, 6. So 36 damage.
Friday. Devastating hits on this undead being, as two new spots of Igor start to pour out from his armor. Quint, you're up.
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. Action surge plus 3 extra attacks for being a fighter means I could have 6 attacks this round if I use that.
That is correct.
All right, I'm going to do exactly that.
Don't
As
forget
I
you
just-
have plus 1d4 on your attack rolls from being blessed.
On attack rolls. Okay. Let me find a d4 really fast. An advantage on the first one. All right, 14. 23 on the first attack.
That's a hit.
All right, I'm just going to roll all the way down and then roll damage afterwards. 19 on the second attack.
Yep.
That's 3 hits. 4 hits. That is a miss. And so I got 4 out of those 6 hits.
Alrighty.
Alright. So 1, 2, 48. That is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus is 47 total damage. As I just... And if I still have a bonus action, as I twirl my sword back around, it erupts into flames as I activate its flame tongue ability. Forgot to do that beforehand.
Alright. So this thing, being unable to see, and having 2 shots dug straight into it, and now 4 slashes in through its body with neon ichor pouring from it. It's not feeling as well as it did before. If it could feel. And yet still, we have another person to go. Jackson.
Jackson sees this abomination, this disgusting thing, and being sort of the nobleman that he is, he always carries that rapier on his side. He's very calm, very collected when he draws it finally. He stopped being this sort of, I want to save you and protect you, and I don't want to hurt you. And he started to be more aggressive. So he draws this blade out, but as he does so, he brings his hand up alongside the blade and begins to whisper. And it sounds like, if anyone else can understand Celestial, it sounds almost like an angelic harp is coming from his mouth as it, right? As this like glowing light begins to come up on his blade, he drives. I'm going to try to drive that blade straight into this guy. And I went ahead and pre-rolled for a 26 to hit, and then a lovely, let's see here. 27 points of damage for that strike, as I'm giving my blade the ability of Psychic Blades, which is in the College of Whispers, and it allows me to do 5d6 psychic damage per round on my blade as I slash into him with this, just all of my celestial energy is now being poured into this blade.
How much of that was psychic damage?
So I get to roll 5d6, and it was 6, 12. So let's see. 21, and then I add another 5 of that. 21 of it was psychic damage, and then 5 of it was the actual physical damage.
Okay. As this blade goes into him, and the celestial psychic magic goes through, you can see that in a normal person how this would deal a lot more damage, but it seems that the ichor that should be flowing isn't flowing as much as it should be. Almost as if it had a lessened effect on his body. However, still a very deadly hit to him. It's not, deadly enough to kill. I don't know why I used I don't know why I used the description for that as deadly, considering he's not dead yet. But anyway, next is the Revenants go. Well, yeah. So, as some of his ichor begins to pour back into him, he will not be able to do his special ability because he can't see right now. Curse your using of blindness to without knowing nullify his special ability. All right.
Does the blindness spell re-save at the end of every round?
Yep.
Yeah, so he should have had a save. He might not be blind anymore.
At the end of his round, I guess he can save again and again and again.
And he hasn't acted before he was blinded, so.
Yeah, I think it has to be the end of the round though. So.
All right. So, still has he can still can't see, but he can still try and make attacks. So he'll swing violently. Actually, no, he can't. Can't. He's not within melee range. Actually, you know what? He will stumble further down the bar, but he can't make it any further past that. And the whole time he's groaning and moaning and snarling.
Does that provoke an opportunity attack?
I don't actually know. I have to honestly say.
Did he move out of the threatened range of the people?
Is he away from me or around me?
He moved probably about 10 feet to the left, so...
But did he move out of the melee range?
Yes.
Then
I'm
he
gonna stab him.
provokes.
I'm gonna stab him. 25.
That is a hit.
Alright, so since I have the Flaming Tongue ability, my rapier is wrapped in a red flame and does an extra 2d6. Which, a whole lot of good that does me. Snake Eyes. Alright, so there's 10 damage total.
10 damage total.
Yep, 2 of it is fire.
Alright. How do you want to do this?
As he tries to, if this is the finishing blow, as he tries to stumble away, my rapier slices at the front of his kneecaps and then comes down on the back of his neck. It isn't enough to sever, to cut his head off, just to sever the vertebrae from the rest of the body.
With two swift pokes behind the kneecaps, and a swift and so they poke behind the neck. The ichor that was pouring out of this formerly alive corpse quickly sucks back into itself, and the body collapses onto the floor.
My eyes are staying on it. I'm ready for it to move again.
I shoot it again. Just because it's dead doesn't mean it doesn't need to be shot again.
Double tap. Double tap.
So as you double tap this thing, the armor looks like it begins to what would be the term? It begins to lighten, and then it clangs to the floor as the body within disintegrates inside of its armor.
I'm gonna go over and pick up the breastplate and see if I think it really is the armor of one of the original hammers.
Alrighty, that would be investigation.
I'm gonna investigate the hell out of this. 11. Super good investigation.
11. Looking this over, you can tell that when it comes to the helmet and the gauntlets and the greaves, they're metal with paint on them, but the chest plate, specifically where the decal is, where the imprinted hammers there. That's all wood, and it shouldn't be wood. And you're able to tell that just by simply knocking on it, and there's a hollow sound on the inside.
I pick it up and I set it on the bar and I say, "This is a fake."
And it seems like a cursed fake at that. Yeah, we just wait for Jackson to come out of the bathroom. He should be able to detect magic on this.
I am then going to look at Gluttony and say, "So who'd you piss off?"
Gluttony has a cooking pot over top of his head, um, as a way to defend himself, and so he's kind of echoey when he speaks to you at first. I and lifts the pot over his head. I don't know who that could have been. I didn't piss off any hammers recently.
Well, I suppose next time I come, drinks are on the house.
Of course, there will be a gold cheaper, I promise you.
This isn't just a normal hammer, though. I'm kind of examining it more. It's definitely an undead of some sort, or was when we were facing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to explain that plainly to Gluttony.
Well, I definitely do not know anything about that.
You know nothing about necromancers.
I'm gonna roll insight to see if I believe him.
Mhm.
22.
He is lying through his sharpened teeth.
As I am cleaning the ichor off of my sword, I want to roll an intimidate check. Are you sure that there's nothing you would care to tell us? Right, Gluttony?
I'm gonna point my gun at him and tell him that he's a liar.
So, Brent, you can roll that intimidation with advantage.
All right. So we're looking at a 17.
Then Gluttony kind of puts his hands up in defense of himself with the iron pot then falling on top of his head. Fine. I made an agreement, a contract.
A devil on the bad side of a deal. Hear something new every day.
There is another.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, Jeff. There is an agent, and not a celestial, not a devil or a demon either. He's the other.
Speak plainly, Gluttony. As you can tell, we don't have very much more time.
The other, they say he opens gates to other worlds, brings forth minions. They say he seeks to reform the astral plane, to bring forth gods again.
That is an absolutely asinine notion. That doesn't happen, Gluttony. You know that won't happen.
I'm gonna roll to see if I believe him this time, because that seems impossible to me. 16.
16. This time he seems like he might actually be being honest with you, at least from what he's hearing, what he's told you seems to be what he believes.
If there are any old gods that would allow this to pass, they are definitely not worth reverence in any ways.
Well, there might be one or two, but you know, it to keep. He might um he, he might be coming for the hammers though.
Old, old grudges? We don't even stand for that anymore. What fight do we have in a religious war?
He does not seek hammers for religious justice.
Then why?
The hammers are the most powerful organization in Lemegeton. He knows their power, their threatening abilities against him. He will. I. Uh, I might have made a bet.
Oh my god. Really, Gluttony? You made a bet. That is the worst thing anyone could ever do.
Jax knows. Jax knows well.
It, you know, it might have been. Uh, it might have been 500,000 gold for um, proof that the hammers could defeat him.
He gives you this. Jackson gives you this deadpan look. His like glowing eyes are just awestruck at the stupidity of that decision. Like, why in the world would you do this? And there's this moment where he has his rapier like tucked back into his sheath, and he like draws it almost like a sheriff drawing a pistol. And then he thinks, yeah, no, I could just end this like I could end this demon right now. It wouldn't be a problem. I could be like, it'll be okay.
But it wouldn't solve any problems either.
And then you'd be a murderer. I don't take super kindly onto them.
No, you're right. If his actions impact the safety of the common man, you are not. I can't even say words right now.
And he like walks around the bar just absolutely on edge, wanting to just take this barkeep out to town and just beat the crap out of him. But he knows that by his bonds, he's not allowed to.
Gluttony, what were the terms of this bet?
It was simple. Well, it kind of, I suppose. I told him that the don't hit me, please. I might have told him the whereabouts of the 7 original hammers in exchange for knowledge of his location.
Why do you care for his location?
So that if the hammers wished to show their might, they could find him. I kind of screwed up.
Kind of is putting it extremely lightly, Gluttony.
More so, actually. So I told them that the 7 cities in the Lemegeton where he could find the 7, And his location is the astral plane, which we cannot reach.
And how is that information any use to the lives of the 6 remaining hammers that you traded them for? Of course he's on the astral plane. That is a vast place.
If he's on the astral plane, how the hell did he get here?
He spoke of, well, a gateway.
Yeah, a gateway? Did he say where this gateway was?
It was, I don't have good news for you.
No, you so far none.
It is at the bottom
Of?
of the Beggar's Grotto.
I stopped pointing my gun at him and put it away. And I insight again. 25. Almost a crit.
He is half telling the truth. Um, you probably have an idea that it's at the bottom of something, but it probably isn't the Beggar's Grotto.
Well then, retcon me putting my gun away. Instead, I just gesture with it again. I say, no, tell me everything you know. Quit lying to me.
Fine. Oh, go ahead.
Is he not wanting to talk to you, Orm? If
No,
that's
he's
the
not.
case,
Just lying.
well, I have a way of making sure that people talk.
Yeah, I
If
too.
he
It's in my
continues-
hand right now.
I didn't want to have to do this.
Your way makes the tongue move. Jackson's way makes the tongue move true.
He walks up forward and, like, not touching your gun. He wants you to have the gun placed on him or placed on Gluttony, but he moves up forward and he, like, I imagine it, like, is Gluttony like on the ground right now, like cowering underneath us right now,
He's
or
crouched.
behind the bar or wherever he is at?
He's currently kind of crouched with this iron pot over top of his head.
Awesome. Jackson gets down to his level. Now. You have an opportunity, demon, for us not to end your life right here. I want you to look into my eyes and tell me exactly where he is. Do you understand me? And at that, I'm going to try and intimidate him. I don't really want to use a spell, but I want to try to intimidate him with my holiest vision possible.
Okay. I'll give you advantage considering that there's a gun pointed at him, as well as you guys ran him.
Awesome. So that would be a 28.
It appears that there is little teardrops that begin pummeling from below the iron pot onto the floor as Gluttony begins to openly weep. Fine, Hammers, fine. I will tell you where it is. It is in my basement.
your basement.
Show me. Let's go. Get up.
He stands up and scurries over to this hatch that's in the ground, and immediately pulls it open, and there's a ladder that descends immediately from like the wall down the hatch. He's like, there, down there. I promise you 5 gold off each of your purchases next time, I swear.
Go on, down there. Show me the portal exactly.
And he scurries down. Do you all follow after him?
Yes. At least I would.
I'm following behind.
As you enter, the first probably 10 feet by 10 feet, this looks like a small room that has like a pantry with food stocks and big casks of ale. But as he kind of moves forward in through a door, the room opens into a 80 feet by 80 foot, 80 feet wide, 80 feet long. The roof is about 30 feet up. This is quite a cavernous space underneath the tavern, and on the far opposite side of this room, there appears to be the remnants of what looks to be an altar of some form, and what looks to be the stone visage of a human face screaming, and in the mouth, past the stone teeth, is a shimmering, almost pool of water, almost mercurial. And a gluttony points to it and says, "There! That is where they come from."
Well, who wants to go and tell somebody else about this so that we're not the only ones who know before we go explore this place?
If one of us,
Somebody that could help us, or someone that we should notify of this.
I can do this. I can go. I'll be back.
well, in the meantime, I am going to take enough time to try to take a short rest. Also, I feel like we should do something for the hammer upstairs. Leaving him on the floor, no matter what its state he is in, just feels wrong to me.
I am under the impression it is an empty pile of armor.
You know, he got turned to ash.
I think it just ceased to exist.
Yeah, his body kind of didn't turn into ash, but just disappeared entirely.
Well, the remnants of what armor we can get off of him, they belong at the guild hall.
All right. When you go back upstairs to find the armor, it is no longer there.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to very, very paranoidly close doors behind me and tend to wounds. If we've got an hour to short rest, I'm going to take it.
Alrighty. Chad.
Yep.
So you go to find help from some form.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go find either help or like notify someone of this. I mean, I feel like my astral deity might be able to lend its hand to like knowing that I need help, but it's not necessarily her design. Her desires and her goals are different from mine. I live in this world and I live on this plane, and I believe in keeping Lemegeton the way that it is, but I don't know what to do right now. And so while I'm searching for help, I'm also trying to like reach out to her and be like, hey, what should I do? What should I be pursuing? How can we fix this? Because this is a messy situation that I don't want to get further into if we can solve it and keep all of the normal people from having harm.
I have one quick question. How tall is the portal?
With the room itself is 80 by 80. The portal itself is 30 by 40. It's 30
Quite
feet
large.
wide. 30 feet wide and 40 feet tall. Yeah, it's.
Well, then I summon a horse.
Sorry,
And
hold
then
on.
start resting.
Sorry, I got my dimensions wrong. 40 feet wide, 30 feet tall. Wait, no, it would be. Oh God, it's 40 feet wide, 25 feet tall because there's space enough that because the roof is 30 feet tall. So. You, Chad, roll me a diplomacy. No, it's not diplomacy, is it? Persuasion.
Yes, it's persuasion.
Roll me a persuasion check.
You got it. Okay, so this is going to be a ridiculous number. I'm just going to let you know. So because my proficiency is doubled on that one, it's 37 for persuasion because I rolled a 17 and I have 20 in that because of the 5 and 5, and then I doubled that with the expertise, so 37. Yep.
Expertise would only get you to 15.
Expertise would only get me to 15?
5 for your stat, 5 for proficiency, and 5 more for doubling your proficiency is only 15.
Well, it's so I have 20 as my charisma bonus. Like 20, so it's a +5 to the charisma, like +5. So wouldn't that get me to 20? I just want to make sure I'm doing.
Your bonus is 5. Your proficiency bonus is 5, and your proficiency bonus is doubled. So your proficiency.
Oh, so 15. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I'll just. Perfect. Thank you. I'll make a note of that though. So yeah, it would be. Still like 32.
32. Yep. So that will give you seeking help. You'll be able to get up. I'm trying to do math. You're able to rustle up through your persuasive abilities. You encounter a noble who is basically the head noble here in the Beggar's Grotto. His name is Lord Giles Bexley. And he is able to procure for you 4 guards to travel back with you into the Hammer and then down into the portal cavern.
Very nice.
You're trying to speak to a female. I'm trying to remember who it was.
It's my diva's name, Melandra. She is a deity of practicality and lightheartedness, but she believes in like practical decision making and all this kind of stuff. And so she would probably be trying to whisper to me about like the importance of our mission or are the importance of like, trying to maintain the astral border, and I am also trying to do my own duty. So I'm kind of confused, and I kind of like look to her to see what her advice is, or see what she might be able to offer us in terms of strategic advice going forward.
As you're kind of like doing this to get information from her and listening to the whisper, so to speak, it feels like there is something emanating from below ground that is trying to siphon it whispers into it, or try to like almost, if in a way, like if you could imagine, okay, this is a horrible description, but if you can imagine the word whisper floating through the air, as it floats towards the area where you are, it feels like the letters are being pulled in through into the ground, out through the air.
Right. So it's almost like someone trying to talk to me like through water, basically. So the words aren't quite coming through the way they should be. Is that what it is?
Almost like the closer the whispers get to you, it's almost like radio static.
Perfect.
Like the sounds are being carried off.
Gotcha. Okay, that's perfect.
Melandra, I want to know what I need to do. I understand that there's an importance here, but I don't know what do in this situation. I've never encountered such.
Quit muttering to your old gods. A little bit of investigation never hurt anyone. Can I do some arcana-ing on the portal to kind of see what's going on?
You can, but with disadvantage.
I can live with that. 20.
Reflecting on your experience with Arcana and magical knowledge, and this thing that kind of it'd be familiar but unfamiliar at the same time, you're able to get an idea that this might be obviously it's a gateway of some form because you were already told that, but for its size and its width, it's almost like it's not specifically designed for individuals to go through. It seems like it's meant for more than one person to go through at the same time.
Is it a two-way, back and forth, or only incoming?
You're able to deduce that, unlike most portals that you're used to, which is you enter through this way, there's an exit point, you realize there might be a middle point. Like, this leads somewhere that then leads multiple places.
Ah, okay. This place, it leads to the center of something. The plains, possibly? A lot of these runes are a bit older than my knowledge. Ah, if only my teacher were here.
So, two things happen right quick. As your in-game short rest comes to a close, and you arrive with these 4 guards in tow, two things happen. Number one of them is meta, one of them is not. The first thing that happens is there is a ripple in the portal, and something steps out through it. He appears to be blonde. He appears to be human. He is dressed well. befitting of a noble, with gilded red and gold fabric covering his body. He appears to be, despite his vibrantly blonde hair, he appears to be in his probably late 60s, early 70s. And he holds a cane in his hand. And he looks at the eight of you, really, and nods and says, I have come to speak with you. You who give themselves to the other.
Normally, introductions involve exchange of names. I am Olm.
You may call me Quint.
I don't say anything. I would just like to cast something that I have because of my grave domain. It's basically trying to detect if there's any undead around me. This creature looks alive, but I can't trust anything coming from that portal. So I'm trying to see if this is a living creature or an undead creature.
And your grave domain lets you just kind of like innately know that, I think. Is that what it is? It just then you can tell that it's a living creature and not undead.
Then I don't sense any undead, so I just say
Um,
I'm rare.
just one extra thing. You sense it's a living thing, except for in its chest, where you sense an undead thing.
Yeah, I definitely don't look happy. Rare doesn't like anything that defies death. As his work is to bury bodies and do the rites. And this creature seems to be playing with death. So, yeah, I would look it in the eyes and plainly just ask, are you some kind of aberration, some kind of weird demon? I sense that you're not normal. There is something within you. If you've come to talk, at least tell us what you are.
Boys, lovely salad.
I am the one they call the Devourer. I am a messenger for the other. What knowledge do you have of other realms?
Only that their existence has threatened the mortal realms for quite some time.
Do you know why?
Because things like you pop from them.
No. My master, the other, wishes to conclude a tale which was told in other worlds. Your world is the remnants of his tale. I will speak plainly in words that you will not understand. You see, my friends, my allies, or my enemies, depending how this tale unfolds, the Lemegeton, your world, is the body of Primus, and my god, Orcus, wishes to see him disintegrated.
That doesn't sound very pleasant for those of us living here.
Indeed.
And you will come to find that the body has ways of defending itself.
If you have come here to threaten us, I assure you, this place is protected.
Let us see. And his body will actually explode or implode as a large shape appears in its space. How best to describe this? This tall, mummy-like being with almost looks like a husk, except that it is pointy ears, jagged mouth, no nose except for 2 slits in its face, and a mercurial rib cage in which the decaying body of someone is lying in the inside of it. This thing is probably about 15 feet tall, and it growls at you. So the first thing we're going to do is take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back to combat.
That's awesome, dude. This has been cool.
Excellent.
I love one-shots that are like, hey, so we're going to give you all these things, and then I'm just going to let you use, like, all. I love the ability to use all of my abilities by the end of a one-shot. I love this. It's awesome. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to worry like, oh god, am I going to need this spell 2 sessions from now because we aren't going to be able to sleep. I love going Nova. Alright, break time.
Boo.
Ah, you scared me. But I'm a ghost, so aren't you more scared? You can't see me. You can only see my desk.
My God.
Don't worry, I've reappeared. I was just feeding my rabbit.
What's your rabbit's name?
Sylvia.
Named for.
Because I like that name.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason.
She is.
I'm back.
She's part Flemish giant, so she's a little bit bigger than the biggest cat in the house.
Jeez Louise.
Like, she weighs like 13 pounds.
Okay, maybe.
Okay.
It hurts when you have advantage and you still don't roll above a 5 on anything. So, just making sure, I only get spells back at long rests, right?
For you, yeah.
Wizards are the only one that's get it back at the short.
That is not the case.
Is it not? Okay.
Wizards get it one time per day on a short rest. Druids of the Circle do. Warlocks get all of their spells back on a short rest.
Excuse me.
That might be it.
Hiccups.
I don't think clerics get their spells back, and I know bards don't.
Okay.
Already told you, it's not like that.
Yeah, and I told you, you've got to be so fussy to get stuck in. More likely to get somewhere with a backside because they're grateful for the attention, even from a loser like you. They say it in the store. She was the size of a fucking bull. That was royalty. You think she's so massive, she'll count as 2 shags. Well, she doesn't. And even if you did, what could you do with that thing?
Alrighty. So, is everybody back? I think so.
Yep. I'm here. Yeah, everyone's here.
So,
Yeah, I'm here. Just wait 1 second. Well, you keep going. I'm just turning off my camera.
oh, okay. As Careless Whispers begins to play in the background now.
Man. We turn that down just a little.
Alrighty. As this being begins to burst forth from this body, it actually is going to be, for the most part, let me check. So it's going to be Alm, then Jackson, then Quint, then Rare, and then it. Yes, Rare, even with a 5, you still rolled higher than it did.
Sucks to suck, man.
Alrighty.
Praise be the dead gods.
Alm, your go first.
As a bonus action, I'm cast Branding Smite, and then I'm going to shoot at it twice. The lowest of my 2 attacks is 24.
Those will both hit.
It can take. Hold on. I can't do math, so I'm going to type it in. How much does. In the future, I will pre-roll, don't worry. It takes 42 damage. 13 of which is fire. No radiant. Oh, actually, I also had my charisma to that, so 47 damage, 18 of which is radiant. The rest is magical piercing.
Alrighty. So, next would be Jackson, I believe. Yep, Jackson, you're up.
Awesome. Okay. So I think what I'm going to try to do then is I'm going to move in to range, or I'm going to move in and I'm going to use Thunder Wave, because Thunder Wave is one of my favorite spells ever. I basically see this happening. I see the amount of damage that's just been inflicted on this creature, and I want to put more distance between myself and this thing. I am a squishy, and I want to get more distance between me and the thing. So I'm going to use Thunder Wave, and essentially, he pulls out from his jacket pocket. He pulls out this wand, kind of like a lapel pocket. He pulls out a wand and like lashes it forward. And as soon as he does this, it's almost like I can't think of the word. The conductor of a symphony, right? He pushes it forward, and a cacophonous sound wave just rushes forward, like he had just picked a guitar pick on a really large amp. Just and it like rattles this whole basement area. And he is going to need to, if I remember correctly,
all of us need to make Constitution saving throws.
Exactly. Everybody needs to make Constitution saving throws. Oh, I forgot it was. I forgot it's an area of effect spell, but it's still one of my favorite spells.
That's okay. We can take it.
Okay.
What's the DC?
DC 18, because it's my spell save DC.
Damn, shorty.
Yep. It's pretty rough.
I made.
Okay. Yeah. So then, let's see. I just want to make sure I'm calculating any damage or anything. 2d8 thunder damage on a fail save, and then it goes up. Yeah, no, it stays 2d8, and then if they fail, they are pushed back 10 feet away from me. So let me grab my 2d8s. So that would, man, it's not that bad. It would be only 7 damage, but I mean, still, I feel like I'm doing something, and that matters.
It had made con save too, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Let's say for half, isn't it, though?
Yeah, say for half. And so it would take 4 damage, I guess.
3.
Half of 7 is 3, and okay, so half of 7 would be 3. So it still takes 3 damage from it, but that's weak. Oh god, I gotta be better. I don't know. Am I adding up the damage correctly? Because I feel like I should be doing more, but I'm not.
I mean, it's a first level spell.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I could have cast it at a higher level, and then it would have gone up.
Yeah, and the guards that are with you did not, however, succeed on the save, so they get pushed, I believe. Yep. Next up would be. Yep. On program, don't fail me now. Quint.
Alright, so I'm going to activate my Flame Tongue, move up on this guy, and triple attack. Alright, so my first is a 28. Second is a 22. And the third is a 12.
So, the first two will hit. The last one will miss.
Alright, first attack deals 11, 21 damage, 10 of which is fire. And the second one deals 17, 6 of which is fire.
All right. Next up is Rare.
Yeah, so first of all, I think that when there's this loud sounds that almost deafen me, and I'm like, oh man, every single time we fight together, you do this. And I'll just look at the creature, and the last time it seemed to work fine, so I'm gonna try and blind it again. Same process, same thinking. This creature is not supposed to be living.
Does this thing even have eyes?
No, it does not have eyes.
I'm hoping that this will affect somehow, because I don't know how it sees us, but I gotta try. So I'm thinking, hopefully this does something. What? Or would I maybe like seeing this creature feel like it's using some other sense to move around and detect us, other than the sights?
It seems to have almost bat-like ears.
Great. Then instead of using blindness, I will use deafness. And yeah, I'll just this time also just say you shouldn't be hearing all of this. Stay in the darkness where you belong. And it's the same saving throw, which is Constitution saving throw of 17.
All right, it gets 17.
Oh well. I had to try. All I can do. It's my action.
All right. Now it is its go. If I remember correctly, I believe that Quint was right up to him, I believe. You're muted, Quint.
Yeah, Quint was right next to him. He attacked him with...
Yeah, right up in his face with a flaming sword.
Perfect. Well, perfect for me.
Bring it.
Sure thing. All right. First attack, as this claw comes down towards you, is 22 to hit.
That'll hit. I'm going to reaction cast shield on myself. I got a +5 AC until the end of my next turn. So it's now a 24 AC.
Nice. Second attack is 20, which will miss now. All right. So it will. Okay, so the first attack will deal. First attack will deal 13 slashing damage, as well as
Ouch.
27 necrotic damage.
Oh, so 40 total?
Right, I think. Yeah. And then, who would be 20 feet away, 20 feet around this thing? Within 20 feet of this thing.
I mean, ideally, I'd be further away.
Probably all of you are within 20 feet, though. Ideally,
Yeah, we're probably within range.
I mean, I've got guns. I'm probably not close to them at all.
pistols. Yeah, you're probably 30. So I mean, at least 3 of you and the guards. In that case, I need the 3 of you who are near him, and I'll roll for the guards. Clearly, I need you to make con saving throws. As a vortex of life-draining energy erupts from its position.
Is he casting a spell?
He is using a special ability.
I've already used my reaction anyway, so I wouldn't be able to op attack even if he was casting a spell. Do I need to make this saving throw as well?
Yep.
Okay. It's a con save.
All right. So all of you guys, the three PCs, all saved for half, and the guards all failed. So let me just roll up the damage here. So that will be okay. So those who saved will take 22 necrotic damage. And each of the guards takes 44 necrotic damage.
Ow. By the way, ow.
And then we go back to the top of initiative order. The guards, by the way, are, well, no thanks to a thunderwave, unconscious.
I got 25 to hit for 27 damage, as only one of my attacks is going to hit. Well, unless 19 hits.
Yes.
Oh, well, then it can take an extra 16 damage.
That'll be a total of
27 plus 16 is 43.
43.
Of which 11 is radiant.
All right. Which means it would be then Jackson's go.
Jackson feels like he screwed up that first go. He's kind of disheveled, seeing that the guards have taken so much damage, that his fellow companions have taken so much damage, and he pulls out his lute and begins to play on it. And as he does so, he is going to very quickly begins playing this really warm feeling melody, and it just sort of starts to seep through those around him. And I'm going to be using a bardic inspiration to start bolstering my companions, but also at the same time, if I can cast a spell, because I don't know if bardic inspiration is just like a secondary thing, if like it's like a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, yeah.
Okay, so then the spell that sort of like starts seeping through all of them is I have a spell called Mass Cure Wounds, and so I would like to start stitching up some of those wounds and preventing anyone from being able to fall as we all gain. Let me take a look here, make sure I got this right. I think it is Mass Cure Wounds. It should be.
It's 6 creatures within 30 feet.
6 creatures within 30 feet, and then it should be for. I'm just trying to think of how much they heal up.
3d6 plus your spellcasting ability.
Okay, 3d6 plus spellcasting. So is that just the modifier? 3d6 plus the modifier?
Yeah, I think you have +5, right?
Yeah, +5. So 3d6 plus 5. And oh, cool. So that'll be a total of 16 points of health going back to everybody. It's not great, but it'll help.
Well, it means the guards are bleeding
It's
out.
beautiful.
Boom. And yeah, so that'll be my turn as I sort of like just I can't stand to see other people, especially innocent people like the guards that I dragged here dying on my watch. That's not acceptable. So you just like there's this sound that goes across the battlefield and stitches up those wounds, and I'm done.
Quick question for you. You target 6 people.
Yeah.
If you're not getting all the guards and your 2 companions, I'm not close enough.
Yeah, but are you hurt right now? Are you
not
hurting?
Really.
Not really? Okay, yeah.
Also
So
not close enough for you to cure me.
yeah, so I'm probably getting the 2 companions that are closest to me in Quinn and Rare, and then myself and 3 of the guards then.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Quint, you're up.
All right, so I definitely want to get out of melee range of this thing. I'm going to use my Misty Step to hop up onto the top of the archway of the portal, out of arm's reach of this mummy. Pull out my musket and fire.
Alrighty.
That is a 25.
That is a hit.
D12. That is a 16 damage.
15 damage.
Yep.
Alrighty. It is up, but it is not doing well.
Good.
Next up is, well, the only other person it could be. Rare.
Yeah, so Rare is going to call death upon this creature. This is how he sees it. I kind of like this the spell that has been cast earlier with the sound. There's this sound of a bell ringing very heavily in the room. Maybe the sound, I'm thinking the sound that you hear when there's a funeral or something like that. And this is a spell called Toll the Dead. So this creature has taken damage, correct?
Indeed.
Which means that he will take 3d12 damage if he fails a saving throw of... I'll just have to check. Yeah, Wisdom saving throw 17.
He fails it.
Perfect. So he will take... Ah, shit. Ah, damn. Ah, very little damage. Only 10 damage. But it's necrotic damage, so I don't know if he has some kind of resistance or something.
Nope.
So yeah. Only 10 damage then.
Alrighty, this funeral bell rings out and it begins to feel as if its funeral is arriving soon. But let me just roll a dice here. Oh, yay. So it will it will move towards Quint is up on top of the arch. And Ulm is
I'm probably like 60 feet away.
60 feet away. And yeah. And also
And I'm on a horse. Because I summoned a horse before I rested.
you're on a horse. Anyway, and Jackson, you're how far away?
I'm still probably really close to Rare at this point because I think we're both still standing there. I don't think we've moved out of range yet.
All right. So then I'm gonna have one attack against Rare and one attack against Jackson. And let's see. So attack on Rare is a 14, which is probably a miss. And Jackson.
Yes. I'm scared now as to that outcome because of the way that you said that.
I'll put it this way. Nat 20.
How would you like to describe your death scene?
Hopefully not that bad, but so that will be 28 slashing damage. And and 56 necrotic damage. Jeez. Well, that's good because his ability recharged at the start of turn. And he will another vortex of life-draining energy in a 20-foot radius will.
Is this counterspellable? Can I try to use counterspell on this?
It is not a spell being cast. It is a
It's an ability.
Monster ability, yeah.
Okay.
I wish. Even me as the DM, I wish. But so I need the guards and you two to make actually if you're above the arch but you're still I think technically quit you'd still be in range. So yeah.
That's a 15 on that con save.
So then Rare and Quint. And I gotta roll for the guards too. The guards succeed. So I will roll damage. Okay, so the guards are going to take 25 necrotic damage, which puts them back at 0 again. And you guys are going to take 51 necrotic damage.
Holy cow. So the only thing that's saving me is I have the parapet of wound closure. So
no, sorry, Rare and Quint would take 51 because
okay. I thought I was taking an extra 51, and I was like, oh well, then I might as well just go back to sleep. Then I'm taking a nap for the rest of the session.
You take the 25 though, but not the.
Oh, I take the 25. Well, yeah, no. Then I'm still gonna. I'm stabilized, but I'm on the ground. I am down.
Can I roll my Indomitable to re-roll that save? Or is it too late for that?
No, I think you can.
It's once per long rest. I just didn't know, since damage has already been rolled, if you'd let me or not.
Sure. I'll let you do
24 on that second save.
Oh, then you'll only take 25 then.
Oh, thank God.
All right, so one of you is down, and the guards are down too. All right, and take this back to the top. Almir.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spur my horse on, jump off next to Jax, use my bonus action to Vow of Enmity the bad guy, use my action to heal Jax 25 HP, and then my horse is going to attack the creature. My horse crits, so that's cool. I've only dealt more damage. Ooh, actually, it does deal a lot of damage. I mean, not a lot, but it can take 21 damage, and he needs to make a DC 14 strength saving throw to get knocked prone. But Jax is up, and I really hate this thing.
Thank you.
It has to
Pro
make it
tip, run
dex
away.
save.
I know, strength save, DC 14. I'm sure it will make it, but...
It got 19, so it will succeed. How much damage was that again? Just remind me.
10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
24.
Oh, wait, doubled because it was a crit. 48.
In that case, how would your horse like to do this?
Well, it just runs over next to it and just
Oh my god.
stamps at it with its feet.
Plunk, plunk, plunk.
You know, rear up and smack at it to death.
See, this world has plenty of purebred heroes.
This horse, clearly from some other plane, rushes this devouring beast. And unlike the guards who, unfortunately, are lying unconscious on the ground, this horse pummels the rib cage of this beast. One hoof breaking ribs, the second hoof crushing through as this thing just falls to the ground. Its stomach just caved in a hole. If you've killed the beast with the beast.
Well, you know, fine steed gives you a pretty fine steed. I'll see myself out.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my god, I'm dying. I don't think I've ever had that kind of a moment. Oh my goodness. Alex,
That was 1,000 times better than what I was priming up to do. Like, I'm just gonna sit up here on the archway, digging my legs satisfied. I could say I've never seen that ever happen in my life, ever. A horse fighting a 13th level boss.
Well, pro tip. When you're riding a horse from Fine Steed, any spell that affects you also affects it. So, Branding Smite is a spell that affects me. So it affected it. So when I jumped off my horse, it still had a charge of Branding Smite, and it smote it with its
That is
hoof.
beautiful.
Oh my god. This is why I need to learn mechanics better, because I would have never ever thought to do that. It's amazing. Oh,
Well, I didn't expect it to kill it. That's why I abjured it. I was going to kill it next round.
Yeah, I was definitely going to try to, like, jump off the archway and turn this thing into Swiss cheese, but no, we're going to let the horse do it. That's much better. So much better.
So,
yeah, I think Rary's gonna look at the horse and just, how many of those have you got?
Just the one.
I mean, an army of these. It's
Yeah,
all
an army of
safe.
those would be pretty badass, I know.
Can
It's
he
just this one, though. He's special.
can he do like magic or something?
No, but he can absorb magic that I cast.
Like if you cast a fireball or something, he will cast fireball as well.
No, he absorbs magic that I cast on myself.
That would have been something.
That would have been something. That would have been pretty badass if I could get it to cast fireballs, but nope, it's just a trusty steed. It's smart.
Horserer the sorcerer.
It knows tricks.
Yeah, when he says just a trusty, and I look at the cadaver of this thing, I'm like, yeah, well, seems pretty reasonable for me.
It understands common.
And it speaks. Oh well.
No, it doesn't know how to talk, it just understands. So,
So-
you can tell it that it did a good job and pet its mane like this. And
Is this
then,
portal still active?
Yep.
Do you guys want to step through, or would you rather I stop this?
Well, if you can kill the portal, kill the portal. Otherwise, I would probably rather take a short rest and see if we can't patch up our buddies.
All right, so I'm going to wave my hand across the portal and attempt to dispel magic.
All right. What level spell slot do you use?
Third. Think I have to make an intelligence check, DC plus the spell level, or something like that.
Let's see.
Quick to my spell list.
In any case, it's a 14 on that check.
14.
So if it is a 4th or lower spell, it is dispelled.
It is not dispelled, even with the ability check.
Can I try it one more time? I have another casting this spell.
Yep.
Okay. Try it one more time. And that is lower than that.
So even with your best 2 attempts, you find that this spell is not easily.
And as like sweat begins forming on my brow, yeah, I'll have to wait before this can be done. Let's keep watch, get some rest. I don't want to leave this portal unattended.
I'm going to walk over to each of the guards and heal them all for 1d6. In order, they will be healed for 4, 2, 5, and 5.
Alrighty. They are healed and up, looking quite a little bit shaken and slightly confused. They kind
I inform them that their services are no longer required and they should go get bed rest and tell as many hammers as they can about what has transpired here.
Who, sir, which one of you killed him?
Olm points at his horse. I mean, it was a team effort, but there's nothing quite as ferocious as a terrified horse stamping at you.
They kind of look at each other, and as they make their way out of the cavern, you all overhear them talking to each other, saying, "If there's one thing I never expected these hammers to have, is humor in a time of such dire need."
Maybe you should just start taking credit for it from now on,
Well, that wouldn't be right. The horse did it.
By your command.
You're
Sure.
so humble. Oh, so humble. That's honorable.
Get off your high horse and take the credit for the high horse.
Well, I am off my horse. I jumped off my horse to make sure Jackson didn't die. Remember? You were there.
Quint,
Yes.
you feel someone tapping on your shoulder.
Like reflexively smack their hand out of the way, and yeah, who's behind me?
From the portal, a long, probably about 7 foot long arm, brown, wrinkly, with an almost decaying hand at the end, with 4 fingers on it and 3 fingers on it and 1 thumb, has tapped you on the shoulder, and with its other fingers seems to be holding a leather bag of some form.
A bag?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Protection from Evil on myself with one hand while reaching for the bag with the other.
Oh, what was the other one you cast?
Protection from Evil, and then I'm going to reach for the bag with my other hand.
All right. So Nothing happens with the hand itself, but as you reach for the bag, it drops it, and then the hand slowly seems to re-enter the portal again.
It seems we have a gift or a message. I'm going to step quite a ways away from the portal and look into the bag.
Inside of the bag, there seems to be well, from what you can tell, a hefty portion of gold. And there seems to be a note lying on top of the gold inside.
Pull out the note.
All right. Does anyone, the script, do you know Infernal?
I do not speak the devil's tongue, but I will hand it to Rare, who I believe does.
Indeed.
Rare, you can read the words quite clearly, and it says, "Consider the debt annulled. Here is your payment of 500,000 gold. P.S. If we ever see the sight of you again, dear Gluttony, do know that your brothers and sisters will be made aware of your failings." Signed, Orcus.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I think such actions as Gluttony has taken, he should be fined about, I don't know, 5,000 gold?
You know, fair's fair. If I was to take a gambling guess at it, I'd say that's a good amount for what we've done for his restaurant. Also, shouldn't something happen to this building, seeing as there's a gateway to Netherworlds underneath it? It is just, a bar.
Well, I hope the guards tell somebody who comes here and checks it out, because personally, I'm not leaving it.
Fair enough. In any case, it seems like we've impressed someone. Orcus.
Yeah, do we know who Orcus is? Or do we have to do some kind of religion check?
I roll religion. I doubt I know it, though. 13. Do I know who Orcus is?
Roll with disadvantage.
Still 13. Do I know who Orcus is?
No, I'm afraid, even with...
That's fine.
Yeah.
I figured I didn't know.
The name doesn't ring any bells at all.
Probably the god of orcs, I would guess.
The name sounds powerful.
Chad, was that your religion roll?
Yeah, I just rolled a religion roll just to see if that might pop up in my head.
With disadvantage?
Oh, with disadvantage? Hold on one second. Then it would still be... Hold on. It would be 11 with disadvantage.
11 with disadvantage? Yeah, you're not able to... The name doesn't come up to mind.
Yeah, I rolled a nat 1 on that second one. And you...
Where is Gluttony? Is he near us?
He is...
I was holding up gunpoint until the fight broke out. He might have ran away.
He is still in the room. He is in the far back corner. Most of his body has tried to fit inside of an iron pot as best it could, and the rest is sticking out.
Yeah, I think he knows who Orcus is, so I'll just come near him in Infernal, ask him who Orcus is.
Orcus. Orcus. Yeah. How best to describe? He is from a plane of called the Abyss, where our kind came from 600 years ago. Um, hmm, how best to describe? Um, he would be called a demon lord, but he is not from not from Lemegeton. He is from another world.
And what was written on the letter about his brothers and sisters again?
His that Orcus would have to inform his brothers and sisters, Gluttony's brothers and sisters, about his failing.
Lust, sloth, pride.
Yep, pretty much.
I mean, why would his brothers and sisters care? They're
I'm sure Wrath. I wouldn't want Wrath on my bad side. I'm sure a few of them aspired a bit more than Gluttony wanting to open a restaurant and make lousy gambling decisions.
How do you know about this Orcus, Gluttony?
I was gifted knowledge of him.
Gifted, you say?
The king of the far realm to the east, King Paimon. He is a mighty demon, a daemon, if you will. He wears the crown of Paimon, which gives all who see it knowledge of other worlds.
Seems you forget to say things that are important.
It wasn't important when you asked me before.
You misplace humor when it's not supposed to be there. I'll cast, just for the fun of it, banishment on this dude. And I'll banish him somewhere fucked up. It's only 1 minute, but only to make him feel a bit. I'm pissed off.
Say hello to the family for us.
I believe if you concentrate for the full minute, he'll be stuck there because that's where he's from.
Say hello to the family for us.
And I think if we've worked together, people have seen me doing this before. When someone pisses me off, I just banish them somewhere and then wait for them to come back and then talk again.
So so you wait for the time basically to come up and then wait for him to reappear?
Yeah, pretty much. Just to rough him up with it.
So when he is banished, kind of like a hole opens up or like a rip in space-time, we'll say that much. And he is sucked into it, and he's like, oh! And there seems to be like flames and like darkness in the other side. For a brief instant, you see it. And then when the tear opens up, blood and guts and eyeballs and brains and organs just begin to spew out from the hole, as it instead how best to describe this is that when he left, the tear was a single stable entrance, and when he returned, due to the separation of the connection between the astral plane and the infernal planes, the banishment portal flickers as he returns, meaning it diced and sliced and chopped and grinded and blended him upon re-entry. Effectively.
Is that how all tieflings handle interfamily disputes?
Well, I guess we won't get to hear any of the gory details then.
I'll cast.
Don't worry, we saw them.
I'll revive him.
The gory details.
If there is something to revive.
Yeah, there is some assembly required.
Hoping that when I raise him from the dead, all that pain is still in him, and that he didn't forget all that he lived in the few minutes past.
I mean, do you have a diamond worth 500 gold pieces?
I imagine that I have that kind of shit. I mean,
I don't have that much money. I couldn't possibly have one of those.
You technically do now.
You mean in the bag that was gold?
Yeah.
Oh, so there was gemstones in it too then?
No, I mean you could spend somewhere 500 gold for a diamond.
Sure, but it's being taken out of his cut.
money. There's no
Now
use
I'm
in it.
beginning to understand why you fell.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely reasons. I'm not perfect.
None of us are. None of us are.
And with that, as you collect what's left of gluttony and I guess a stored away for transport, representatives of the Hammer arrive, and as you're about to leave, and they allow you to keep the gold that you find as a parting present. They do not confirm or deny the existence of any being known as Orcus or a Primus, and they thank you for your defending the honor of your families as a Hammer, and relinquish you of the body parts of gluttony. As the sun begins to set in the distance, Hammers descend the stairs to the portal, upon which they find the mouth of the visage closed, and a note to the Hammers. While the bet with this devil has been completed, you are still a threat to us. Know this. Just because you live on the body of the god of Mechanus, home of Modrons, does not mean that I am coming to kill you. It may be, take a bit. There may be other gods, other beings that want you dead. And if your Hammers are there to stop us, different Hammers, I am sure they will be killed as well. Signed, yours truly, the other. And that's where we'll end our session tonight.
Oh, that was great.
Is it the same dude though?
Well done, sir.
Oh, Lord.
This is a cool setting, man. I really like this.
Yeah, I'm enthralled.
A horse killed the boss.
That
See that's gonna be the highlight that I hold on to about this game.
But the setting is just
But the setting
phenomenal.
is amazing.
Setting's really dope. I
Yeah.
really like it.
Oh man, I really hesitated to jump into the portal though.
There was temptation.
Yeah, just fuck it.
Oh, I was so close. I was so close to being like, I'm gonna walk in there.
There was the off chance that I get to play this character again, so I didn't want to
Really
write him off
thought-
entirely.
If I walk into this, I might legit die. So,
Well, I was just gonna walk through once I finished my short rest. Once I was done recharging my warlock powers, I was gonna go through there and be like, "Hey, what's going on over here, man?
Round
What
2,
kind of-
let's go. Adventure!
What kind of terrible darkness awaits?"
yeah,
Oh
but
my
It's terrible, terrible darkness. Why did I go through? I regret it.
I looked at my spells list and I was like, oh my god, for the combat that we dealt with, I picked like horrendous spells. Most of which were like things that I thought were going to be useful. Like I had like hallucinatory terrain, teleportation circle, teleport, dimension door, all of which are teleportation spells. Like you look at it and then like hypnotic pattern, major image, a lot of these things, like it wouldn't have helped on a physical level in the combat. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Oh god, I am horrible at barding.
Buff, 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 buff. Yeah, I teleported like... 3 times 0 is still 0. I was going to say, I teleported a lot more than you managed to.
Yep.
Oh, that was neat.
So, very quickly, we're gonna go left to right because we're still live, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. Like,
Hello, internet. Hello, internet people.
It's great. So starting with Alex, if there's anything you want to plug or anything you want to, say, comments, that kind of stuff. Starting with Alexander. Bye, Sprite.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Cranberry Sprite is the most delicious Sprite. That is all.
that's his plug. He's gonna get an entire carton worth of Sprite. Like,
No, we're
delivered to
sued.
this house.
We're sued.
We're sued. We can't have plugs on the show.
PepsiCo copyright content. Yeah. Bradley, anything you want to plug or comments?
No, I just want to say that for my first AbTab join up one shot session, this was freaking fantastic, and I don't exist on the internet yet, but expect to be seeing me on these types of things a lot more here coming up. That's it.
Alrighty. Chad, anything? Well, you clearly have nothing to plug, Chad.
I guess. Guys, hi, my name is Chad Nick. I am super, super happy to have been able to play with these guys. This is my first time playing with all of these people, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Alex, Brad, Nicholas, you guys were all fantastic. You made me look like a schlub for a minute, because I was totally not on my game tonight, and I know it, but I had a blast. Luke, you were an amazing DM, and I love this setting. I can tell that this setting is going to be something awesome that I think a lot of people should get involved in. As far as stuff I want to plug, I have a YouTube channel of my own. It is my name, Chad Nick, and you can... That's K-N-I-C-K. You can also find me at gastrogamer.org, where I write up accessibility reviews and D&D stuff. Also, you can find me over at a little-known podcast known as The Dudes of Yore with my buddies Jeremy Lilly and Jeff Doty. Other than that, I'm just a dude who hangs out on the interwebs and plays games with other people. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this. I had a blast.
Sweet. And, by the way, thank you also. Whew, I'm blushing over here. And Nicholas, any comments or plugs you wish to?
I don't have any channel as well. I'm just a random dude playing. Hopefully playing more games. Been trying. It's always a bit harder with the time zone, but when you want to play, you just play, man. There's 4 in the morning, doesn't matter. And had a blast. I loved the setting, and I'm really hoping to see more of it, and maybe seeing Orcus in action, man. Seeing him kicking some ass there. Very fun night, and thank you for making this possible.
No problem. And I don't mind revealing that Orcus isn't a Lemegeton specific demon lord. He's actually a Forgotten Realms demon lord. But best to say this without. It's not too much of a spoiler because the Lemegeton is based off my original homebrew setting, which was called Titans of Cataclysm, which never met any fruition. But that was essentially the infant form of Lemegeton, and in that Primus, by the way, is the god of the plane of Mechanus, which Modrons come from. He was killed by Orcus, who then pretended to be Primus, so that the Modrons would follow him, and he started using the Modrons, the machine race, to wreak havoc across the plains. But it was never explained what happened to Primus's original body, and so I decided that Lemegeton is what happened to his body, and that's why there's holy wars and things. But there'll be more explanations about how a body became a plane of existence. But I thank you guys for playing with me tonight. It's like a celestial versus demon Transformers game. It really is.
I have a question.
Yes.
When are we getting more? When can I play some more of this? Because I need it.
I'll need to look at my work schedule, but I will definitely have more one-shots. I would, in Dream of Dreams, I would love to run a Lemegeton campaign, but I have more stuff to come out. I have 2 player races I'm working on, and some other stuff. But I suppose I'll announce here on this video what the 2 player races are. First up is I'm making my version of a 5th edition Shard Mind. And the other player race that I'm working on is what are they? Oh my god, I'm blanking. Sec.
Kalashar.
No, I wish.
Random guess.
The Damphir.
Ah, yeah, Damphir.
But yeah, and so I'll see how that goes. There is a third one. It's in testing, I guess would be the one would be, and that is a hag race.
Oh, dude, hag
Like-
race?
Like
Hag
blue?
or changeling?
Like
Oh,
not like
what?
not like a changeling like Eberron, but like an actual like hag, like descendant of
like sea hag, kind of like witch creature. Like, yeah,
Like
I dig
Pathfinder
that.
changeling, not Eberron changeling.
like the offspring of hags. Yeah.
Gotcha. We are talking about the same thing.
Holy. Seems cool.
Cool.
Anyway, and I mean, there will be archetypes too, clearly, and but those are much later to come, and I don't want to take up too much more of you guys' time. So I'll wish the rest of you good night. And from the Lord of Lemegeton to the world, there will be more demons. There will be more angels. And there will be end times to come.
And one more round of applause for a great DM.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.